dude. Yeah, so it's men of action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And high status lifestyle in 40 days.
Yeah.
What is that?
Is it 40 or 60? Is it 40? Maybe it is. I don't know. I thought it was 60 days. So what it is the concept of, so that's what we sell, right? That the advertisement is a bunch of...
You are the advertisement,
yes,
dude.
Sure.
You live and breathe this stuff.
Yes.
Private jet, girls, nice cars.
Yeah, a bunch of so here's the funny thing. There's no private jet, and there's never nice cars. So this is...
That's the illusion, though,
correct,
right?
Correct. No, you're not wrong. The thing is, in my videos, there's never private jets, there's never expensive watches, and there's never pretty girls. Because there's another thing I do that's different than other people, is I show you this lifestyle, but you can get it without spending money. This is like mind-blowing to a lot. I'm wearing an Apple Watch for a reason. Like, I don't ever want to make this program seem like you need money to do this, because you don't. What I teach is the concept of, from starting with Dr. Buss's concepts of evolutionary psychology and other evolutionary psychologists, Homo sapiens seek higher sexual selection and higher status. So I understand that in myself, but when you start to understand that in other people, that's when you make $1 billion. That's when you understand, what do people on Amazon, what is Amazon really selling? They're not selling products. They don't really make money off those products. They're selling simplicity. I swipe, boop, and then the shit just shows up. It's just stimulus, boop, and then there's food and groceries and supplies in my apartment like the next day, right? That's what Amazon actually sells. They understand like humans are like lazy. They get this concept from evolutionary psychology. They grasp these ideas. A beer commercial, hot people, running, Michelob Ultra, you'll be high status. It's like, makes no fucking sense. If an alien looked at a beer commercial, they'd be like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. But humans, it's like, oh, they're attacking our limbic system and our amygdala at the same time, and they're making us buy this beer. When you have a clear, but all psychology is an evolutionary psychology, just to be clear. The concept that like all of our proclivities come from natural selection, and the survival scenario that we went through as Homo sapiens for the last 300,000 years, that's why we like sugar, salt, fat. That's why we like women with a certain hip to waist ratio. Women prefer men with a certain shoulder to waist ratio. Men prefer women with a certain facial features. Women prefer men with a certain upper body muscle content. When you start looking at these things, you start to understand all these proclivities come from natural selection. Now, when you start from that concept, then you start saying, so what is one of the proclivities that humans have? And this is the most important statement in the whole program. Networking is an evolutionary adaptation. Networking is an evolutionary adaptation. What makes us different from other animals is that we can work together to kill the gazelle. We work together to build the fence. We work together to build the structure. We work together to operate to protect the tribe. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So when you understand that, then you're like, okay, what can I do in order to become better at networking? This is what Dale Carnegie figured out when he wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's like, treat them all the same, make them talk about themselves. People like to hear their own voice. We start taking these ideas from networking and then applying them to everything. Now, one of those places is dating, which is what a lot of guys are very interested in, which is why so many people buy my program, is because I'm surrounded by beautiful women all the time. But that's more like, tell them what they want and sell them what they need. Sell them what they want and teach them what they need. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what I'm doing. I'm showing them, like, hey, by the way, if you can get a bunch of high status people and like huge female influencers to come to an event, getting a bunch of real estate agents to come to an event is very easy. Because if you can bench press 300 pounds, you can bench press 200 pounds. The reason why I teach it from the platform I do, which is like a bunch of like huge influencers, is because that's harder. That's playing Madden on all Madden mode. So that when I set it to rookie, it's a joke. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I teach guys in the most difficult environment so that later on when they're like, okay, I want to host an event, throw an event, invite a bunch of people to another event, and then I want to get all these other people to come to my events, follow me on social media. I want to show my social media shows access to scarce resources and higher status. I want my physique to look this way. I want my social media to look this way. All these kind of things. When they do that, when they show those things from the outside looking in, you'll look at this person and be like, oh, this person looks like they're higher status, right? And it's very simple, because what happens with men especially, not so much with women, with men especially, is that they'll have average social media profiles, which will make them look very low status. Men do not normally distribute like women do. There are women that are moderately attractive, exceptionally attractive, and not very attractive. There's like on dating apps, the top 10% of men on dating apps get 63% of the right swipes. The top 20% of men on dating apps get 83% of the right swipes. 80% of men on dating apps are deemed unattractive. So that you can take that same thing and extrapolate it to Instagram as well. 80% of Instagram profiles are men who don't know what they're doing. Lots of plaid shirts and out of focus photographs and drinking beer with guys. And like, why do you think women want to see this? Close-ups of the face, they look like Grindr profiles. It doesn't make any sense. Like they don't know what they're doing. And so when we understand these concepts of like always looking like your higher status, not fake it till you make it. And I'm not, again, there's no expensive, there's no Patek watch. There's no private jet, and there's no fucking mansion, and there's no nice car. We're doing other things. We're showing travel, physique. We're showing networking. Like one of the reasons
things you can control.
Yeah, things you can control. Again, building a social circle using money is easy. I could teach you that if you want, but like that's not very difficult. Getting friends because you have money, it's not difficult. Getting friends because you understand how to break rapport, you understand charisma, you understand value arbitrage, the connector, the suggester, the content creator. When you understand these concepts and you're able to build a network that way, it's more lasting, it's more durable, and you don't need money to do it. And so when I teach these concepts, for a lot of people, they have a hard time with it. Even me explaining it right now to a lot of guys won't make sense. Then they'll go to my Instagram and they'll be like, holy fuck, okay, I get it now. I understand. I didn't understand what he was saying, now I get it. Like for me, it's like I'm friends with several guys who are, a few of them are Fortune 500 CEOs, several billionaires. And then I'm also friends with like Dan Bilzerian. And then at my birthday were 54 girls that showed up and like 8 of them were playmates. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I created a lifestyle to where people want to network with me. People want to come into my circle. Most of my friends meet their girlfriends through me. Most of my guy friends get their jobs through me. Most of my friends meet sponsors for their events through me. Most of my friends connect with their other friends through me. I end up being like this hub and I teach other people to kind of do the same. You know who Dan Fleischman is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dan Fleischman. If Dan Fleischman taught a course how to be Dan Fleischman, this is that course. That's the best way to explain it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, his book is should be called How to Throw an Event.
Yes.
Really, but
yeah. So Dan Fleischman will throw an event, and at the event, he'll invite a ton of influencers. This is what I love that Dan does. Dan will invite 10,000 girls and 100 guys, right? To get the ratio right. Because Dan understands what really attractive women want to see is really attractive women, what guys want to see is really attractive women. So he'll throw an event like that and he'll end up with a ton of people showing up. So like Dan, if Dan were to teach a course how to be Dan, this is the course. That would be probably the best way to explain it, right? Using influencer events, using social media, using connections, using collaborations with other people. Those are the things that we teach you. We have very simple steps to begin with, but it takes work. It takes work, and not a lot of work, but it definitely takes work. And for a lot of people, it takes them getting out of their comfort zone to say, okay, I need to fix, like, again, I'll just use Madden as another example. There's speed, awareness, agility, you know what I'm saying, catching, all these different attributes in Madden. Mm-hmm. And each one of them, some of them like Tyreek Hill would be low on strength, but high on speed, right? And then Terrence Armstead would be like high on strength and low on speed. Like, it would be different depending on the size of the player. I want everyone to be up at a 90 in all the attributes. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's physique, and does my social media look right? And do I have this correct network? And am I building this business? And what are the books that I'm reading? Like all these parts, we try to fix and get it up to at least a 90 in all those different categories. For some people, that's hard. For some people, that's definitely getting them out of their comfort zone. But I mean, after the 500th client I've had that had success, I was like, okay, this is something that we can continue to do and replicate.
Thanks for checking out this short clip from the full podcast I did. If you want to see another clip, go ahead and click the link right here. Or if you want to see the full podcast, you can click the link right here and check it out.